Hello guys, if you're interested in coaching, hit me up. My email's up in the description. Send me an email. The consultation's free and the first session's $5. And it's so powerful coaching. Imagine having someone encouraging you, supporting you, and most importantly, holding you accountable. People that have been trying to get on the path that they want, goals, relationships, health-related issues, finances, self-discipline, going to the gym, everything. We cover everything, have made huge progress over time. It's not overnight. It's not a quick fix, but that steady, consistent progress of having someone teach you the right strategies, encouraging you, and most importantly, supporting you. It makes a huge difference. So if it's something that interests you, you really got nothing to lose. Like I said, the consultation's free. My email address is up there. Just send me an email. Do we realize, and I don't think we do, how taxing and exhausting it is to not be ourselves, to conform, to constantly censor what we're going to say, do, and even feel? It is such an exhausting process, and it has become so much of the norm that we don't even think about it. Not being ourselves has become so habitual that most of us don't know who we really are. Because anytime we let out who we are, it gets judged, it gets criticized, it gets laughed at, it gets embarrassed, it gets rejected. And so from a very young age, and realize so much of who we are starts at a very young age. When I was taking one of my university classes, they were saying, the child's personality is really formed and developed in the first 5 years. And it's really imprinted, and it just gets reinforced over time. And it's amazing how things that happen to us when we're young and in school, elementary school, middle school, and high school, how we carry those same things into our adulthood. And in school, we learn the path of least resistance is conformity. If you try to be someone other than yourself, and you're a little bit weird, you're a little bit different, you get bullied, you get beat up, you get made fun of, you get gossiped about, and it's just hell. It can be a living hell, and I know a lot of young people really suffer in the torment of going through the educational system. And I really feel for you. And when I was going through, I've always been a black sheep. From a very, very young age, I never really quite fit in, and I always thought the easiest thing to do was just to be like the popular kids, or say what other people were saying, or talk about what other people are talking about, or act like how other people are acting. It just seemed, hey, you know what? That is what I'm going to do because that's what is easiest. And although it is easy in the short run, what is the long-term cost? The long-term cost is we lose that connection with our deeper self, our true self, our authentic self. We lose it and we start wearing all these masks, don't know who we are, and then we just look for others, parents, family, friends, television, media, to guide us, to lead us. And then we can't understand why we are unhappy. We end up taking jobs that we don't like because we're playing it safe. We don't want to risk. We end up maybe marrying the wrong person because we're afraid of we don't want to be alone, or we don't really advertise who we truly are, so we attract the wrong person. And it's like living life in a straitjacket. It is so confining and suffocating. And then the worst part of it all is as when we become adults, because if you're at all different And to one degree or another, we're all different. But we all learn at a very young age how to play the game. So we fit in and are accepted by the tribe. But if you're at all different, you're traumatized. You have these traumatic experiences that you take into your adulthood. So things, it could be if you grew up in a dysfunctional family, if you've just had any type of trauma in school or just growing up, it creates this fear response. So a lot of times in coaching, it's just getting people to understand or overcoming their fears and getting them to be in touch with who they truly are. And it's like a treasure hunt. You never know what you're going to discover, and it's actually exciting to peel the onion and uncover the layers of your authenticity and who you truly are. And then you feel like, a burden, a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. And a lot of people suffer from social anxiety. Well, we suffer from social anxiety because we were traumatized growing up, and we learned that the path of least resistance is, when you're traumatized, is avoidance or over-censoring. So we always are, when we're in social situations, we think about what we're going to say. And if a person disapproves or looks at this the wrong way, then we alter what we're going to say so it garners the most acceptance. And so our whole personality has been shaped by forces beyond our control. And we allow it. And we continue to allow it by taking the path of least resistance, playing it safe, not stretching our comfort zone. And the most glorious thing is just to be comfortable in your own skin, even if you get disapproved of, and being yourself. It's not being ourselves in the long run has so much negative repercussions, and we stuff who we are, and then we can't understand why we have self-loathing. We don't like ourselves. Well, a big part of it is we don't like ourselves because we are not ourselves. We're living our lives incongruent from our passions, what we truly want out of life, what we want to express, the honesty and the openness that is inside of us all gets cut off. And when you cut it off, it gets buried, but it's still beneath the surface, and it just kind of, like that pressure cooker, keeps on building and building, and we're so disconnected, so it creates this, when we're not who we are, it creates this stress response. And so then we go to alcohol, we go to shopping, pornography, sex, video games, all these mental distractions. And some of who we are is not pretty. It's called being a human being. We all have things that are, neurotic, unlikable, dysfunctional, and that's okay. It's our lack of dealing with it and embracing it that causes us just immense suffering. So if we just tapping into who you truly are, and it's not an overnight change. It's a baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, but social stretching yourself. So with some of my clients, we have rejection exercises. So, a couple times a week, they have to stretch themselves and get rejected. That's the goal. Saying something that they normally would censor or bite their tongue, going to a place that they normally wouldn't go to, and talking to people, and just really basically just stretching the comfort zone. We become creatures of habit, and we just end up doing the same things over and over, associating with the same people, eating the same types of food, watching the same types of programs and movies, and reading the same types of books, and really stretching our comfort zone. But most importantly, how do we connect with ourselves? Is by listening to our intuition. So there's a lot of people recommend meditation, and meditation is a great practice. I also recommend a listening meditation where you're just silent and you just listen to that intuitive part of yourself. And that intuitive part of yourself is deeper than that monkey mind. You can tell the distinction between the two energies when it's monkey mind, ego, fear-based. It has like a heaviness to it. You can feel the like a tension in your body. And then when you have that intuitive sense and just reflect back in your life when you've had those intuitions, we all have it, but we're just so out of tune with it. And that intuition is kind of like an impulse. I should go do this. No, this is not the right job for me. I want to ask this person out, to go to coffee or dinner or something like that. I really want to pursue this as my career. I'm in the wrong relationship. My addiction to food or alcohol is really something that needs to be addressed. All these intuitions, or even something it might be something as simple as I really want to get to know myself. I want to travel. Some people have that intuitive impulse, people that I work with, but they're afraid. And so you get this intuitive impulse and you just slap it down and you bury it. No, I can't go traveling because I'm too old. I have too many things that I need to take care of, too many responsibilities. Don't have enough money. Excuse after excuse, these fear-based excuses. And then you're just slapping the hand of your intuition. So your intuition becomes weaker and weaker. So we could start strengthening it with little practices of and the best way is I really like to ask questions. What should I do today? Today you should go have a picnic. Go to the park and have a picnic. Or today you should read that book that's been sitting on your shelf for years. Or today you should simplify. And instead of always responding to the monkey, the ego that wants immediate gratification, and you ask it what to do and it'll say, watch YouTube videos, check Facebook, play video games, watch TV, all these mind-numbing activities. Not that in moderation, there's nothing wrong with that in moderation, but that becomes just so much ingrained, habitual in our lives, is that we're doing things to distract ourselves because we're numbing. It helps numb the pain when we are not who we are. That is the biggest crime, is not being yourself. Be a weirdo if that's who you are. And as long as you're not hurting yourself and you're not hurting other people, it's like the shackles, the chains, you're breaking out of prison. It represents freedom. And another great tool of finding out who you are is just connecting with your breath and really being present in your life. We're so much on autopilot throughout our day that it's just these conditioned, habitual responses. Hi, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. How are you? Oh, I'm good too. How are you? There's no presence with it. And a great tool is just to connect with your breath. Just one deep conscious breath. Just try it. Try it now. It is amazing, the power of that. And if you were to do one conscious breath throughout the day, it really recenters you and gets you connected beyond your ego, beyond your conditioned responses, beyond your fears. A great reminder I have, there's an app called Mindful, Mina, M-Y-N-A-H. And it's a fantastic, or there's another one for Android called Mindfulness Bell. And you could set it like every half hour, every hour, it'll ding. And you can catch yourself, oh my gosh, I'm not being authentic. I'm trapped in the ego. I'm worried about what other people are thinking. I'm projecting myself into the future. I'm feeling guilty or regret about the past. And as Eckhart Tolle says, What problem do you have right now? Well, I have this problem because I have all these bills and I don't know I need to pay and I don't have enough money to pay my bills. Oh, okay, okay. That's the future. What problem do you have right now? Oh, I'm feeling really upset because my girlfriend, my boyfriend broke up with me, or I just got fired at my job, or something didn't go right in the past. Okay, well, that's the past. What problem do you have right now? You take a deep breath, let it out. Say, you know what? I don't have any problem right now. And when you do find you have problems, you're going into the future or you're going into the past. And when in conversations, instead of that tension, because especially if we have that social anxiety, and even people that don't have social anxiety, there's this tension to not get disapproved of that creates an artificialness between most interactions with people. And the key thing to break out of that is just presence. So when you're talking to people, you're connecting to your breath, and you're aware of that sensor that is constantly altering who you are. No, don't say that. No, you need to say this. Oh, they just said something funny. You need to laugh. Oh, you haven't said something in a while. You need to participate in this conversation. Oh, they're looking at you strange. Well, what's going on? Maybe they don't like you, or maybe they think what you're wearing is silly. All that is not being present. So you go to your breath, and you just observe it. You don't resist it, but you just observe all that chaos and that nonsense and that irrationality of the monkey mind. And I've been coaching for about 5.5 years now, and I realized that what causes people to suffer, like if I were to give people one thing that would help them the most of anything, is that not identifying with thought, with thinking, and especially monkey mind. And that's what happens. That's what causes us to suffer, is we hitch our horse, or we hitch our wagon to the horse of monkey mind, to the horse of negativity, to the horse of self-loathing, to the horse of self-doubt, insecurity, fear of rejection. And really, it's all fear-based. And when you think about it, the monkey mind, the primal or reptilian part of our brain, is we have this old brain and we have new brain. And old brain, 10,000 years ago, when we lived in the jungle or in the desert or in the wild in tribes, it was probably very beneficial to be on a state of alert, in a state of fear. And I was reading a book about a neuroscientist, and he was saying our brains are so inefficiently designed. Everyone thinks that our brains are like these incredible masterpieces, and to a certain degree they are. But the way evolution works is it takes old brain and just adds new things on top of it. And it doesn't get rid of the old primal part of ourselves. That's like taking an old 1930s Ford car and trying to put a new engine on top of the engine that's already there. You're going to have problems. And it's the same with us. We have these problems because we have this old primal primitive brain that's very emotional, very fear-based, and is concerned about safety, food, shelter, sex, and acceptance. Because if you didn't get accepted in the tribe, 10,000 years ago, your life could be in jeopardy. And so there's not this ability to distinguish between fears today that are not going to cause us to die, or are not grave or serious fears in general, and fears that happened 10,000 years ago. Our brain is that old reptilian part of our brain is still very much part of who we are. And it's through awareness and observation that we're able to not be enslaved by it anymore. And it's creating a balance, and this is what we work on in coaching, is we create a balance between that primal and primitive part of our brain and the part of our brain, if you want to call it the intuitive, the higher self, the frontal lobe, that is more logical, analytical, can see into the future, and have them meld together, working together. Right now we have these things that we want to do, and then the new brain, these goals, ambitions, and then the monkey comes in. So we have why can't I do the things I want to do? And it's because we have the monkey, the old brain and new brain, they're fighting against each other. And so when you were able to calm that monkey part of our brain, relax it, make it feel safe and comfortable, we are able to progress in the areas that we want in our life. And be ourselves. And the most beautiful thing is just to be weird, be different. Conformity kills art, and living your life is art. What you do, what you say, how you interact with people, that's a form of creative expression. And how sad it is that our creative expression, like if we have a blank canvas, and all of our creative expression, we want to have authentic art on that blank canvas. But everyone else has put their artwork or their paint on our canvas, so we don't know who we are. So what I'm suggesting is slowly start cleaning off that canvas and say, am I behaving in this way out of fear, out of ego, out of need for acceptance, or am I behaving this way or living my life in this manner out of a deeper sense of being? And we get so bogged down and stifled with doing. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to be here. I got to set all these goals, and I got to accomplish all these things, and I got to be successful, and I got to get people to like me. And maybe I'm getting too old, and I'm not where my life is supposed to be. Oh my gosh, doing, and it's a void that never gets completely filled. You're always trying to do. And the most, what do most people want? I don't think most people want inner peace. I don't think people want happiness and riches and all these things. They want all those things because they think those things will make them calm, and they'll make them peaceful. They'll make them content. I think what we all seek when we move beyond all the societal conditioning, we just want inner peace, contentment, and acceptance of life as it is. I mean, how beautiful is that, being able to be content despite what's happening in your life? Oh, that is freedom, because you no longer need to control and fix and alter things. Your life is as it is. That doesn't mean we can't act and make changes, but our contentment doesn't depend on it. So you can just live your life in a state of joy, peace, contentment, just a state of inner peace despite what's happening. I think that's what we all seek. And so really connecting beyond that controlled, self-critical, self-doubtful part of our beings, and instead observing it without resistance, and just spending more time in stillness. As you spend more time in stillness, you're able to listen, and you're able to discover who you are. And that is more important than any job interview, any relationship, because as you change internally, your external world will mirror that. And most people got it reverse. They're so busy trying to change their external, or control their external, or make their external world more safe and secure. And it's chaotic. It's the physical form. You can't control it. Things are always in flux, always changing. Why not spend that energy and go within? And that is the greatest journey one can ever take. And that's where, I think that's deep down inside, that's what we're all searching for. And because we keep on looking externally, we never seem to arrive. Okay. As always, appreciate your comments. And again, if you want someone to kind of help you, support you, encourage you, help you create a solid foundation and really discover what's important to you, how to live authentically, how to increase self-discipline and not be controlled by the monkey mind, send me an email. And my passion is helping other people become themselves. And if it means becoming a weirdo, helping people to become a weirdo. It's beautiful. It's beautiful and invigorating to live authentically, despite what other people say. Okay, thanks for listening, and until next time, bye-bye.